Hello, everyone. If you're watching this, you've stumbled across a absolute tabletop kickoff meeting. This is a recorded meeting. These are the meetings that we normally do leading up to every release. We have a kickoff meeting where the project manager in charge of the supplement leads a little discussion about the supplement, what they want in the supplement. Normally, they'll divvy out tasks, letting people know what their responsibilities are for that particular supplement. We talk about art needs, design needs, who's going to be handling layout, all that kind of stuff. It's mostly not exciting, but we also do a lot of brainstorming, and so we thought it might be cool to share with you guys a little behind-the-scenes look, because people like weird stuff like this. So I have an itinerary open here, and the first item on the itinerary for the meeting is opening ceremonies. Matt does a dance in honor of the occasion, so I have to do that first.
Yes.
Got the thumbs, so we're good.
Barker, you keep laughing and it keeps switching to you not dancing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was trying to prove that he did in fact have to do a dance in honor of the occasion.
Yes.
It's on the itinerary.
Now, we talked to the viewers a little bit. As the doc says that Barker has open here, this is 9,000% a brainstorm session. Much of what we decide tonight will change before the release. So don't take any of this as gospel when I say Stone Rift's going to have 78 pages of stat blocks in it. That's not going to happen. We're just going to talk about that potentially happening. So again, this is really just a brainstorming session, us talking about the supplement, potentially what's going to be in it. It may or may not represent the final product that will be in your hot little hands sometime in early October.
I promise that everything we talk about will happen and more.
And more.
There's that check. I have not broken out the checkbook in a while.
So you haven't.
My favorite part about that is when it switched to you, Tim, it was catching up. So it was you in fast forward doing a bunch of stuff as the audio came
out. All right. So let's just launch into the meeting here, guys. So we're here talking about the Stone Rift kickoff. So if you guys will open up the doc that I shared with you.
Oh, and I'll share this one too.
What this is yeah, totally share this one. People can look at it. What this is the first finished section of Stone Rift. A lot of the supplement is written, but a lot of it is somewhat skeletal too. This is the first section that is fully filled out, fleshed out, that I'm happy with, that I think has all the content that I want in it. And so a lot of this is going to look similar to past Aronoff supplements, but there's a few things that I'm doing differently. One is each section is going to be preceded by a quote of some kind, something with the lore. We've done this before with like the Convocation, or I think we had some quotes even in Wayward Wanderer where we had little quotes kind of all over the place. But this time I'm intentionally saying this quote goes with this section.
That's awesome.
And then we have a couple paragraphs of introduction into the section.
Matt, do we right here? I'm selecting the A in archivist or archivist. Do we not capitalize that?
So I wasn't going to, because it's not a proper title. It's just what he is. If he was like High Archivist, Belcor High Tome, then it would be
Hierarchist.
Hierarchivist. That's a cool word, actually, and I might steal that. Hierarchivist. Which is also a website that you can go to hire an archivist. If you go to hirearchivist.com.
Oh,
I'm kidding. So I'm taking a note from Tim here, and I mentioned this before, but instead of just having outlying settlements and then a bunch of paragraphs about the outlying settlements, I have outlying settlements, and then I have the outlying settlements. All of them preceded by their name, a colon, and then a little paragraph about them.
Dude, that improves readability so much
Exactly.
for me. I'm just like, what is Dolstead? That's an interesting word that I'm going to read about now.
Exactly. And I've done the same thing with, if you scroll down to upper fortifications, I've done the same thing with upper fortifications, where there are different sort of sections to it. And instead of each paragraph just sort of being about a different thing, literally each paragraph is about a different thing. It has its own little subheading, which I think makes it a lot more, like you were saying, Tim, a lot more readable. And it's easier for me to write because I can kind of outline this stuff out and then fill it in instead of just thinking like, okay, now what am I going to talk about under the section. So all of the sections are going to look like this. There are 3 main sections in the book. There's the surface, the upper sprawl, and the lower depths, which comprise like the 3 levels of Stone Rift. And within each section is going to be those different subheadings. So that's kind of what the book is going to look like.
I like this part at the bottom. I like this. Hold on, let me find it. Upper fortifications. You have like constant vigilance, the 4 bolt towers, ram patrols. This reminds me of something like a Fate high concept or like one of your pillars of a world type of thing.
Exactly. It's kind of like these are the elements that make this. Like this is like the just the recipe for making this what it is. And you can look at something and like, oh, the 4 bolt towers sounds cool. Like Tim was saying with Dolstead, like what is happening?
So you're doing
and the
the 4 bolt towers and the nubby quarter tower.
So this is officially an absolute tabletop kickoff meeting.
No. See, Tim is an inside man. That's actually the secret 8th Harry Potter book.
The Harry Potter and the nubby quarter tower. I love it.
Yeah.
So here's what I do. Here's my job at Absolute Tabletop. I hit reject.
Reject. Oh.
It's true.
Well, actually, really quick, we'll have the idea so I don't forget it. And
yeah.
I'm going to go to our itinerary and put some notes down here. Stone Rift is in, you said 3 layers, right? You have the upper...
Yeah, the upper sprawl, or the surface, the upper sprawl, and the lower depths.
It'd be cool, I'm imagining. Do you remember the Shard City of Towers like side map where you had like a map from the side to show the different layers?
Yeah, I was thinking about drawing up something like that, but it might be beyond me, so we'll see.
I bet you we can find someone to do that. I'm going to write that down.
Okay.
I bet you we can find Tim to do that.
I bet you we can. I'm going to lift up a rock. Tim's under here. Could he do it? Oh. No, so this is something that we do during a meeting is if somebody mentions something that seems like a good idea, we'll make a note of it to tackle during the production of the book. So, potentially looking into getting a map, although I think we've already maxed out our art budget for Stone Rift, so this is definitely either Matt's drawing it on a napkin or Tim's doing it in Photoshop.
Well, and that's a good point, is that this is actually something, and that's why it's a brainstorm, because I'm going to look and say, okay, well, what can I really pull together? And is it going to work for the book?
Yeah.
Can I pull something together that's going to fit and not pull down the overall quality like, oh, wow, Tim made a nifty thing and they hung it on the fridge in this book. So it's cool to brainstorm that stuff, and I might even find something that works in a different way and go, hey, I know we talked about X, but would you consider Y? Right. And that sometimes opens up cool threads of, oh, well, if we do that, then we can include this. And that's why these brainstorming sessions are so important, because everything's wide open game.
Absolutely.
And usually this agenda is much more laid out nicely because Tim's on it. I was just like, oh man.
Yeah, I was planning on doing
dance.
I was planning on doing the agenda today, and then ended up just getting absolutely slammed. I wasn't even able to do it on my lunch, so I super appreciate Barker putting it together. But the thing is that we're not talking about that much during this meeting, so it's like, that kind of sums it up. So
yeah, we'll fill out the notes more than anything.
Exactly. So the other thing that I'm doing, that I'm going to do more of, because I love them, and I went like hog wild with them in Sewers Under Sandwall and really enjoyed it, is the breakout boxes. Because I feel like a breakout box is perfect for this information that doesn't necessarily fit into one of these sections, and also I'm pointing it out as being really important. So in this instance, we have a couple of different breakout boxes. We have Adversaries of the Rift, which lays out the Hill Giants and the Burrow Goblins and their relationships with the Dwarves of Stone Rift. And then we have another breakout box later on that is Dangers of the Surface, which is literally just like it's a D6 roll table for different crazy things that your players might run into. And I wanted something like that was different than the Encounters roll table, which we'll get to in a little bit, as just being like, here's a little thing that you can throw in. It's not a fully fleshed out encounter. It's not a quest. It's literally like a lightning bolt strikes. Make a dex save. There's a tunnel collapse, goblins attack, that sort of thing, where it's just something that you can throw in there as almost like a wandering monster table, almost. Just kind of little things that you can toss in. So those are the 2 breakout boxes for the Surface. And then with, right now I'm working on the Upper Sprawl, there's a breakout box about Blackstone, which is a resource that the dwarves use. And there's another breakout box about this game called Rill, which is a coin game that the dwarves of Stone Rift play. And there's rules for Rill, so you can literally play Rill. You can learn how to play Rill.
There's rules for Rill.
There's rules.
For real, there's
For real.
For real.
For
Yeah,
real.
Exactly.
There's rules for real. For real. For real.
Really quick, because I missed it.
Now that I
Dangers
know.
of what?
Dangers of the Surface, but also Dangers of Tim's Mom's House is also correct. There is going to be a breakout box all about that. That's going to be the Tabletop
Not
Terrors
James's
breakout box.
mom's house. We're talking about
Say,
Tim's.
no, we're talking about my mom, and it's going to say fistful of dice, baby.
Fistful of dice, baby.
So, Matt, I want to brag on you for a second here.
Yeah.
I love that in this Dangers of the Surface breakout box, where you have these kind of like environmental things.
Yeah.
It's a quick hazard, and then the DC right there. Boom.
Yeah.
If they don't hit the DC, right after that is exactly what happens. That makes it so that I can use that absolutely on the fly with no page flipping.
That was kind of my idea with it,
Love
man.
that.
Is that like I love when adventure modules and stuff include things like that, where it's like, hey, are things slowing down? Are they traveling somewhere? Here's some cool stuff to throw at them. Like, my thinking is, if you roll on the Surface Encounters roll table and you get a really cool quest, and your PCs decide to go on this quest, while they're traveling, throw one of the dangers at them,
Exactly, dude. I love that.
And that's a whole session right there between the 2 of them. So, be a better campaign master, part 2, stuff like Dangers of the Surface roll tables. This is another thing we do, is we constantly take each other's ideas. And
I was thinking that, and
I say that in
didn't
the best
say
way
it.
possible, because we all...
Well, we got to do it. We got to do it before someone else does.
It's true.
Tim was about
The
to
thing
say,
is that-
that's going to go in the next Dragon Grid book.
It is. I was like, I'm throwing some of those in every region of Dead Man's Guide.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a reason
Exactly.
why we steal each other's ideas. I mean, part of it is that we're not stealing ideas because we're all part of the same company. But
Yeah.
the other part of it is that we all have good ideas for different things, and we're constantly coming up with new ideas. And things like Tim and James are working on Dead Man's Guide right now, and the way that they're describing the regions is like, I think it's like, I'm not going to say revolutionary, but I've never seen it done that way in a campaign setting. And if I ever do an Aronoff campaign setting book, I'm absolutely going to steal the way that they're laying it out and formatting it, because I think it's really smart.
And especially in that case, that was sort of the plan, is to try, because the first time that I remember this really, really, really happening, where something happened in a book and we were like, we are doing that in our book, was the timeline in the Convocation.
Yes.
And so we did that, and so it was like, hey, we need a timeline in the Copper Jackals. And it's going to be this, hopefully that was what we planned on, is like, hey, we like to come up with stuff that people want to say, I got to put that in my book.
Exactly. Yep. That's exactly right. And we constantly do that, which is why I think our books just keep getting better. I think. I think every book is better than the last one.
That, Dragon Grid books, Aronoff books, Be a Better Game Master books, they're all different, but because they're a mix of all of us, they all kind of have this same consistent vibe about them, and I think that's neat. I like that.
I love that. I also love... Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I like that I like your stuff, Tim. Like, I like that I'm a Dragon Grid fan,
Totally.
Right, that would make it difficult. Well, I was just going to mention, too, that there's a certain degree, if I buy an adventure module from a company, I would like for it to be similar enough because I like the company. Like, I don't want it to be so different. I think we have a really good way of, when we say stealing ideas, it's usually format, structure, and sort of like the spine of the thing. But then all the flesh and everything that goes on top of it. And so I love that, because if I love an Aronoff book and then pick up a Dragon Grid book, I don't want them to be so different. Be like, oh, where are all those cool tables?
Exactly. Yeah.
So-
No, that's very true.
What do you think of increasing the number of this to a D10 table, Matt?
I'd be down with that. I made it a D6 because I literally couldn't think of another one, but that's where you guys come in. So if you guys wanted to make it a D10 Dangers table, we could absolutely do that. So I'll go ahead and just boop. Oh, I forgot to do this thing. There. And then the last thing in this section is every section will have a big ol' roll table with quests in it. Like detailed things with names, NPCs, but not so detailed that you have to sit there and read it. It's literally like a paragraph. So, Barker, if you could switch back over to the surface dock. So the surface encounters roll table, and I'm considering making this a D20 roll table. This is 10 quests that you can send your adventurers on. So it's things like the headquarters of the Rift Rangers is under siege by hill giants. You have to sneak supplies into the fortification for them to be able to break the siege. Or there's a Gnomish engineer whose experimental technology has gone missing. Someone accidentally shot down a griffin from the convocation. You got to deal with that, like stuff like that.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that. Every single section is going to have a roll table like this. This is super duper Keep on the Borderlands. This is absolutely, I'm just like hand over fist stealing from Keep on the Borderlands, because that's one of my favorite things about that module is that it's like, here's this area. Here's a D100 roll table of stuff that can happen in this area. Like, I love that. That's my favorite kind of adventure module. So I'm trying to include...
This is a place. We're giving you a place, and here's all the crap that can happen in the
Exactly. And I think that each of the 3 areas of Stone Rift is going to be distinct enough where the quests are going to feel very, very different. So I'm pretty excited about that. So that is the basic kind of overview of what Stone Rift is going to look like. And obviously a section like the weapons, or a section like the stat blocks for the enemies is going to look a little bit different, but the bulk of the book is going to look like this. So what do you guys think? Do you have any like suggestions, any feedback? What do you guys think about this?
How big do you think it's going to be?
It's hard to say. This is one section, and it's 5 pages in Google Docs, which is probably going to be 8-ish, 9-ish pages in InDesign with art and stuff.
Okay.
So ballparking it, I think it's going to be convocation sized.
Yeah, cool.
So around 50-ish pages, I think.
Now, for the people who are watching, whenever it's a Be a Better Game Master supplement or a Dragon Grin supplement, if we were to say 50, everyone else would be like, okay, 100 pages.
Yeah, 100 pages. Okay, gotcha.
Another thing I think that's worth mentioning is it used to be that you said 5 pages would be 10 pages in InDesign, but we are scaling back the font sizes on
the font size. That is true. So it might be more like 7-ish pages. In
but
InDesign.
I think 7 or 8 is still good, whereas before I would have said no question, 10 pages.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I have something funky to mention.
Yeah.
I actually saw it was a post you made we have a production Facebook group where we post things that are of note. And Matt, one of the things you mentioned a while back was from, I think, Gygax magazine. You showed this really cool page layout where one particular page had 3 columns.
Yeah.
And do you think that Stone Rift in any form would have any portions that are 3 columns, or is that for another book?
It's funny because I've played around with 3-column layouts in InDesign since then, and I can't get it to look good. I don't know. I think it's because their margins were so wide and it was just text that they were able to pull it off. But I've tried it and with one of our backgrounds, and it looks like garbage. Like it looks like it fits like 1 or 2 words per line. It's completely unreadable.
I bet it's literally the best way to camouflage all text.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, because you're breaking it up so much. Yeah,
yep. Because they had those cool, what was it, like a D10 or something?
Yeah, like in there. Yep.
Okay, so that's good to know.
I think that our books, for the most part, because we are a little bit design heavy, the most they would go would be 2 columns, and I think 2 columns is like perfect. Like that's my favorite way to read an RPG supplement is 2 columns. Okay, cool. So on the itinerary, I have a dumb idea. I want to talk to you guys about it.
Okay.
So it's traditional for the other people in the company to write a breakout box for each other's supplements. So like in an Aeronaut supplement, Barker would write a Be a Better Game Master breakout box. Tim and James would write a Tabletop Terrors spread, and we would just put them in the book. And it's kind of a
Terrors companion PDF.
A breakout book.
Yeah. And we put those in the books because it's really cool to get a different perspective. It's cool to tackle a different topic that the author may not have thought of or wouldn't be as good about talking about. I wanted to throw this out to you guys and say that I think it would be really cool for Stone Rift as a supplement to have a small, very small adventure in the back. And I was going to ask you guys if you would be interested in writing that together. I'm talking like Goblin Go-Kart sized adventure, using the elements from the book. So using maybe some of the dangers, some of the quests, a couple of the enemies, and writing a really awesome short, like one session adventure.
So what you're asking is, this is what you're asking. You're asking me, this is what you're asking Tim to do. You're saying, listen, crackhead, I want you to guard all this crack.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with crack.
Smoke a little. Only have a little bit of the crack.
Just a little bit.
With self-control. And I'm saying, oh, dude, listen, when I'm high out of my mind, I'm going to make the best choices. I'm the crackhead to guard your crack. That's what you're asking.
Yeah,
you're gonna get a 40-page supplement.
I really do mean a short adventure. I just think that that's something that's been missing in the Aronoth books is a way to immediately open the book and play in whatever the location is.
I love the idea.
And having been, having played in the adventures at the end of the Edge of the Empire books and at the end of like 4th edition modules and stuff, I get what you're saying, and I totally see. And I think it'd be a little bit bigger than Goblin Go-Karts, much smaller than Riptide Raid. I feel, but yeah,
that's kind of.
But
that's
maybe in
what,
between those two.
And I think that it would save on the size because it's not like you're including a bunch of roll tables or a bunch of stat blocks in the adventure because everything's in the book. You're literally just saying like. Take like everybody roll up some dwarves of Stone Rift, or you're playing people that are visiting Stone Rift, and here's an adventure that you can play out using the stuff that's in the book.
Maybe it's even like it's an encounter with a few ideas of how to start it and a few ideas of how to end it.
Anything like that, like whatever you guys decide you want to do.
The setup is use this, or this. We're gonna choose this. Here's the encounter. And then, with these, you can close it this way, this way, this way, this way. Thul is the thief.
Yeah.
The giant arrives. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Barks, James?
I think that's a super good idea. I really like that idea. I like the idea that it's small, but I like the idea, what you're saying, Tim, allows it to pave the way into their own adventure. So it's kind of like a module in that it gets you started, but even two people can run it and it'll be different in that sort of where it leads, where it starts type of way. I'm all for it. I like
so
that.
People
and also I think it might be Riptide Raid length. Maybe a little smaller because there's a little less art, but I like the idea of it being like that long.
Yeah, and if you guys end up, like, if you want me to draw, like, a little dungeon map or something that we could throw in there, like, I'm super down with that. I think it'd be really cool. And, Barker, what you mentioned, like, the adventures in, like, the Edge of the Empire book. Like, I remember, like, one of my favorite things is, like, opening up a book and it being like, hey, there's 2 or 3 adventures in the back of this book. You're like, dude, that's awesome. Like, in the Mouse Guard rulebook, there's, like, 5 adventures in there. And they're all, like, 2 pages. They're all, like, really simple, but they're, like, if you've never run Mouse Guard, this is, like, here's how you lay out a session of Mouse Guard. Yeah. Like, here's how it works. Use this template, and here's some examples.
What does it make you do? It makes you say, hey, let's play this right now.
Yeah, I want to run this. Yeah, exactly. You're like, there's literally nothing stopping me from running this right now.
Exactly.
I love it. No, dude, that's awesome.
Okay,
and again,
cool.
that's probably something we should look at planning on doing for our future supplements, that it makes sense to do the regional ones.
Absolutely, yeah. Because I really like that idea, and I think it's a natural, like, evolution of the breakout box idea. Because I love that idea, but like you were saying earlier, I can't remember who was saying it. It was you, Tim. You were saying we're getting more similar in the way that we lay things out and the way we format it. And so not to say that our individual voices are being lost, but I think we have less different stuff to say when we're writing a supplement. And so doing something like, hey, what if you guys just take all the stuff that I've written and write an adventure using those elements?
Yeah,
I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, and so wait, you're giving us control over it, right? You don't have a
I might throw some ideas in there, but I'm basically saying, like, I'm gonna finish up Stone Rift. I'm gonna write all this. You guys are gonna help me with it, obviously, but I'm gonna write the bulk of it. It'd be awesome if we have an adventure to just pop in there at the end. I think that'd be really cool.
All right, so we're gonna do a Stone Rift weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah,
I'm thinking,
Exactly.
where
I'm gonna come home.
Till the Blitz dies,
I'm
but
gonna,
for alive for a ceremony.
Get the exploded Nazmir Storehammer. Storehammer.
I'm
That's a lot of power.
gonna come home and you guys
That's a lot
will have
of-
written a 50-page adventure complete with
Yeah,
roll
you're
tables.
giving us a lot of power for 3
Yeah.
people.
Tim's gonna be like, "Hey guys, I got 50 heroic maps. We're gonna throw those in there." I'm just like, "Dude, what is happening right now?" No. Okay, cool. I'm glad you guys are on board with that. So we can move on from that. We'll add that to your guys' to-do list for the next few weeks here. And I know that you're just gonna knock it out and just it's gonna be done like tomorrow. I know Tim's gonna be like, "Hey guys, I just something I'm toying with," and there's gonna be like 50 just like roll tables in there. I'm like,
And
"Damn
here's
it,
a
Tim."
t-shirt idea based on a joke that we made at the hangout yesterday.
Awesome. All right. Cool. So I think the last. Okay, what else we got on here? Goblin Encounters roll table. Is that a Barker thing?
Yeah, I wanted to bring up the idea. I like the idea of the burrow goblins
Yeah.
and maybe like a D10 encounters table, just like 1 or 2 sentence encounters about encountering those goblins, because I feel like they're such a big part of Stone Rift.
I think that's a really cool idea. Maybe that'll be one of the breakout box roll tables in the lower depths section. I think that would fit really well in there because they're like a big problem in that area.
Awesome.
I love that.
Cool.
So I thought you said bro goblins.
Yeah,
And I
bro
got
goblins.
excited.
They show up.
Bro, yeah.
They're
They
all
got
hopped
flat
up on
stickers
pre-workout.
on
They're
them.
just like
Do bro goblins pop their collars and wear their hats sideways?
They do. They have aviators. Yeah.
Yeah, aviators.
Yep.
I'm on this Thunder Brew. It's workout, bro. It's so good, bro. My
They look
dwarf
like
arms are twice as big.
They look like the Brawn goblins from Sewers Under Sandwall.
That's what they use. What's up, bro?
Awesome. All right. And then we have weapons. Yep, there's going to be a weapons section. We have art for all the weapons already. We have to write up the descriptions of those. NPCs, Mike the Piper is in there for some reason.
He's the Dirge Piper. He goes by Michael.
He goes by Michael.
Oh, can
Michael
we call
the
him?
Piper.
We'll call him Michael Knight.
I like that. I like that a lot.
He'll be Aeronaut's Knight Rider.
That's perfect. I like it.
And he'll have a griffin with red thing that goes back and forth.
Michael Knife the Piper.
He's like, "Hello, Michael."
The Piper. What is happening, Barker? Are you okay?
No. Do you want to go to the next section? What
Are you having a stroke right now?
Yeah, I am. Does
Okay.
it smell like hot dogs to you guys? Do you smell hot dogs?
It's weird though. I'm cooking hot dogs, which is ironic.
I got them on my foreman. I got a foreman grill right in front of me. You guys can't see it, but I'm cooking hot dogs.
Let's see here. Let me turn my monitor down here.
We just watched the episode of The Office where Michael
burns his foot on the
burns
foreman
his
grill.
foot on the.
Oh man, it's such a good episode.
Oh, it's so good.
So I think that about does it though, guys. I don't really have anything else I want to talk about. Like this is a kickoff, like kind of late into the writing process. Like I'm already just like steamrolling this thing, and I think it'll be done in the next couple weeks, and we can start laying this bad boy out.
Awesome.
Very
I
cool.
love it.
All right.
So, one quick thing then. So
Yeah.
then, a lot of the stuff that's written, do you want us to jump in there? I know some of it's marked RFE. Do you want us to start, which is for our
Dude.
company, is ready for edits? Do you want us to just start going in there and adding stuff and twinking?
Yeah.
Twinking?
And don't twink anything. Don't twink anything. But if you want, if you want to tweak it though, that's fine.
Bro's got the little Debbies on his mind.
He does.
I'm like, I just want to drinks cake it. Can I funny bone all your dogs?
So anything marked RFE is up for grabs, and especially if you guys want to start hashing out ideas for the adventure, you can absolutely jump in those docs, jump in the outline, and start kind of accruing ideas, and there's no better way to do that than helping me fill out some roll tables or, stuff like that. So what I can do over the next couple days as well is make sure that I have ideas for all the roll tables in the different sections, so that if you guys have like 5 or 10 minutes and you want to jump in and add a couple things, there will be something there for you to do. So
Sweet. Let's rock and roll, man. I love
awesome.
it.
Okay,
I'm really
sounds
looking
good.
forward to this. Especially, Durgan is from Stone Rift, so that's the character I first played in the Provoker. So this is really crazy for me to see this materialize in such a concrete form, and I cannot wait.
Yeah, it's been awesome for me too, because I had a pretty good idea of what Stone Rift was like, But it's like it's Brook all over again, where I'm like rediscovering this place and like creating it, like, and really solidifying what it is for me, and it's turning into a cool place. I think it's a really cool location. I think it's going to be a great supplement. I think people are really going to dig it. So,
and it's so heavy metal. Like, if you haven't
it's
read
so metal.
it yet, it's like dwarves. It's not like and the dwarves of Erenoth. It's like the dwarves.
Exactly.
It's like a Hammerfall concert underground, and there's lava pyrotechnics
During a lightning storm.
And there's goblins. Who invited the goblins, bro?
All right. So, I hope you enjoyed this little sneak peek into what it looks like working for Absolute Tabletop. This is literally every kickoff meeting. Actually, this was pretty tame because we knew that we were being recorded.
Yep.
So, I hope you guys enjoyed. And if people enjoyed watching this, we may do more. We may record more things like this and share more behind-the-scenes stuff with you guys. So, again, everybody, take care and happy gaming on.